Good afternoon, everyone. Back for another upload and gonna get set up here. I don't know if I charged my lights, so it might go out. Who knows? But I think you can see me fine. Updates, getting ready, getting all my equipment ready for my trip, and it's gonna be a week, and I'm gonna show you a couple of areas in the city I'm going to. I'm not going to say where exactly, but it's really exciting. I can't wait to go. But the thing is that we're going to be landing there super early, so check-in, I wonder why hotels check-in is so late. Like, you pay for the whole day, and 3 or 4 o'clock is pretty late, if you ask me. Wondering why that's the case. So yeah, why is it at 3 to 4 check-in when sometimes in the fall sun goes down super early? So I think we're getting gypped. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing well. I uploaded the lighting video, and for some reason, like, y'all don't like that one. Is it because lighting doesn't matter in a video? I guess not. The algorithm says lighting does not matter. So art matters, and I guess a lot of people love art, and so I am going to share what the update is. I am currently working on my coloring book here, and as you know, if you guys have been watching the last couple of videos, I've been working on my coloring book templates, and this is for fall, and I've really got to update my website this week while I'm in the hotel. It is a business trip, and so I'm going to be staying in the hotel a lot, and so while I'm there, I'm going to be working on a couple of websites because I am a webmaster on the side. And I mean, I hustle. How many jobs do you have? Because this economy, you have to have something. Plan B, plan C, plan D. So I am working on my coloring book here, and this is my plan A in the future. My plan A is to create digital coloring books, and this is how I do it. I am changing the layout for this because I figured out something with my index page, and I like this because it's 8.5 by 11, but if I switch it landscape to this way, it just makes more sense. So I do have to color in the coloring book part so that when you do have the QR code on here, you can see the coloring pages. And that is the cover for fall, and then the inside is also color, so the only full color is the cover, or the book, or the sleeve, or the jacket is what they call it in the publishing world, is the jacket. So that is the jacket inside and then outside, and then the rest is coloring pages. And I noticed that it isn't bold enough for my liking, and I'm going to have to go back into the coloring book and make them a little bit more bold and take away the ones that you really can't color in per se with a crayon or a marker. So the obi has to go. The obi decorative has to go because you can't really color it unless you have a fine tip pencil, and I know most colorists don't have that. This is fine, the leaves, but the little details I notice, if I make them bold, they'll be a little bit obscure and irregular. So yeah, I figured out a lot by trial and error on how, when you make a product, you go through a lot of steps and a lot of errors and a lot of mock-ups, a lot of drafts, a lot of seconds, a lot of waste. So that's what I'm trying to avoid. But yeah, it just goes through that so many times when I print out things. My printer goes through a lot, and it's so amazing that HP, I'm not sponsored or anything, but Hewitt Packard, um, Hewitt Packard has a lot of great. So my light just went out, and so now I have to be careful about filming and make sure that I have everything plugged in. So I'm going to bring all of these extension cords, and I can definitely charge with this. I don't know if I showed you this one. This is so amazing. This is a multi USB charger, and it uses all of the cords. There's like 4 outlets here. So I have an extra one for my microphone and my 2 lights while they are on, so they don't have to be plugged in all the time. While charging, you can plug them and use them like any other type of lamp, which is great because it's long lasting, and it doesn't, because the cloth is on here, it doesn't heat up, so it's not hot. It's LED, which is great. And I can also, and I made sure that I plugged in my phone, but the microphone has a USB-C, and I can also make sure that my phone is charging while I am filming, if I'm going to film for more than an hour or so, but I think I'm okay with that. So that's a great thing to have and to travel with. But I am going to be working on my coloring books, and I'm almost done with winter, which is so great. I love it. So I've figured out this is going to be the interior of the jacket, of the cover, and I really like the layout of this. And I think I'm going to have to move Sakura Winter somewhere on the right side, because when you input the, just imagine this is the inside but full color. When you put in the pages, it will look like this. So when you open it, it'll look like the reindeer is in his habitat, but a different kind of habitat. And so we have to see, I don't want to have 2 winters in one scene. So I'm going to have to move probably Sakura in her place, and then her over here closer to her little reindeer friend. So I have 2 different scenes, one on the right and one on the left side. So that's how you're going to be looking at it. I also strategically have to figure out the layout of each page. So what I do with this is, if I'm missing a page or if I feel like it's not balanced, I gotta redo some of the pages and move around some objects, like this Christmas tree. If I feel like I need to put Sakura over here and move this Christmas trees to the right, I could do that on Illustrator. All right, I can easily move each object around, sort of like, you know, those windows at the malls, and you see, like at Tiffany or Bloomingdale's during the holiday season, they have all of these props in the windows, and you see them, they're so artistic. That's sort of like what this is. It's a way to look at what you're viewing in terms of each window, each coloring window, and what is good when it becomes a book. Now, this is great when it's a full-on 8.5 by 11 or a poster landscape, but when you fold it, that's what happens. She gets cut off. And it doesn't make any sense. So I've got to either reduce these 2 or make her big and then reduce the 2 reindeer. That's how it goes. That's how layouts are when you are creating any kind of design, be it a web page or a book or a comic book or a coloring book or a greeting card. It, you know, really does matter with the layouts. So I don't know if you can see it, but the layouts here are without the characters, and there's 6 pages, there's 6 scenes. Everybody's going to be placed somewhere. We're going to have repeats of the character. I have my QR code here. I have my coloring book index layout and the brand, and the color is black and white. So I basically have enough room to put down what file it is and whatnot. And so I can easily find the file if it's in a USB drive or it's in an external hard drive. I know exactly where it's at. And then after that, sorry, the fan is really high. Okay, so after that, after all the scenes are created on my computer, I copy and paste them into a layout like this. So remember how I had it 8.5 by 11, now it's 11 by 8.5, and so it will look like this, and the scenes will look a lot bigger. I believe there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's just bigger. You could see it bigger. I will have a full color one, and then I will have a black and white one. So there will be 2 pages of the layout, and I'll be printing it on index card paper. So I will be printing front and back so I could see the color version and flip it and say, okay, I do have the black and white versions. So that will make sense because then you could see it more better. Here it's so small, and I mean, I really like it like that. I don't know, but I feel like I'm wasting the backside of the paper there, as you can tell. So once I have the layouts without the characters, then I go in and plop in the characters like so. And you see how the difference between this one and this one, the lines are a little bit more broader, the stroke is more higher at 2. This one's a little bit more fine. You can barely see it, but on the new version, you can see it's a lot bolder with the character in the scene. And so I really, really love the way it turned out. The characters make it. It's a beautiful scene of a mix of just snow-capped trees, and then I included some of the Japanese buildings and the temples, and some. My mom and dad had this in their front yard of their little mini temples, and I have the reindeer here, and the reindeer there are so. The deer there are so iconic. They have a place where you could actually walk around with the reindeer and you know and feed them in the I forget the prefecture, but I believe that there's an area there in Japan where you can see them. So look how beautiful that looks. I really enjoyed working on it this week, and I'm so glad I reached my goal. I'm way ahead of time and schedule. And I actually printed out a few samples here. This one, I wanted to make the characters stand out, and I feel that this is nice. I like it because you can still color the whole scene, but she's a lot more bold. And so I wanted to see what that would look like if I had made all of the characters bold. And let's see if I can organize this. Should have a table here. This is, hold on, let me get the table. Here's one, the very first one that I did. I noticed that the reindeer are very faint, but they also had these very detailed snowflakes. And I did not like the snowflakes because you couldn't really color them unless you had like a fine tip coloring pencil. And so I had to just remove that. But I did like the boldness of the lines of the Christmas tree. And she was not as matching that. So it just kind of made excuse me, it made the Christmas trees stand out more than her, if that makes sense. So here is the final version, and I really like it. And now I understand why. Now I understand why coloring books are so bold. So this is the new version. I took out the snowflakes and I made it as simple as possible. And I made her line stroke match the Christmas trees. So if you could tell can you tell the difference? I could. I could definitely tell the difference because now all of them are equal in stroke. And I like that. So this is the old version and this is the new version. And so I looked at all of them in terms of the layout on the index, and the index showed a lot of fine lines, and the index, when I look at it in full and I say, oh my gosh, that looks really great, but you could tell the snowflakes on her obi were very bold and very crowded. So I had to remove them. And I figured, if you were going to design your own obi, you would want a blank obi, like a blank piece of fabric. And so I decided to take away the snowflakes on her obi so that you could design it yourself. If you wanted to do it in pencil, if you wanted to do it in pen, or whatever kind of obi design that's on you. Her scarf is also blank. Her bow is also blank. Her hair should be white or a very light blue. So, I mean, it's up to the creator or the colorist to make their own decision on that. I also created this scene, as you can tell, in the very top middle one, that's her. And you can see it very large scale here. And again, I left the obi, I left it blank so the colorist can design their own obi. And I really love the background here. There's no Japanese influence except for the character herself. All of the lines are the same stroke and the same balance. So everything is cohesive. And then, so that is that. That's the final. And the final of this page. Moving on to the next, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so what I do is I match them up according to how it should line up. And so this is all the same stroke. Again, taking away the snowflakes and just adding circles to make it more simplistic and easy to color for the colorist. This one is also, I put her up close so it looks as though she's in the front, and the distance are the houses and the snowflake and the tree, different kinds of trees. And she's just, oh, I'm here. Welcome snow, welcome winter. And then this one is the reindeer or the deer in the same kind of situation, a little bit more closer in the distance. And then this is either a road or a little river. It's up to you if you want to make it. And if that person wanted to put like a duck or whatever in the middle of the river or a little car, they could design it themselves. I thought that was really cute, and I really like this second page. And then the next page is this one, and again the strokes are the same, and close up either on the right or the left. And then this one is also the same stroke, a little bit more smaller, a little distant, but there's the bridge and Japanese inspirational areas of the landscape, Mount Fuji, and a sakura tree in the wintertime. Sakura tree in the wintertime, and it's just really cute. So let me put these together in the way they will be presented. So for example, if you were to open up this page, see how that looks. it's just the temple, just the house. So I want to be able to flip it and put her here. So I'm going to flip the entire thing and make it backwards. So that'll work actually, because when you open it up, it'll be this page and that front. Okay, if that makes sense, does that make sense? Okay, then the next page is, see how it flows, but I will have to move this house over here because you got half of the house. That doesn't make any sense. So there's a lot of adjustments, but I love how the Sakura tree matches this area here. So I'm definitely going to have to move this house and stretch it over here, if that makes sense. Then the next page, and just imagine these are, I'm going to glue them together once I figure out the finale, but the next page, see how this gets cut off? Yeah, that's not going to work. So I have to adjust or replace it with a different page. And then this one is the center, and this makes sense because it opens up into a full page. You've got her and with the reindeer together and holidays. And then the next page, see, it's the other side of that full page, and she's just cut in half. And then this makes sense. That makes a lot of sense right there, because it's just the reindeer on the right side. And then this one made sense too. I really like how this turned out, but I gotta move this a little bit here so I can have the whole house and get rid of this. And so it's like it matches because it's two separate pages, you see. And then the last page, and then the coloring page will be full color of this, but matching that back of the jacket, if that makes sense. So see how a coloring book, the layout matters, especially when you start creating it and putting in the characters. Putting in the characters, because then you have a sense of the layout, and when you fold the pages, you can place the characters in those layouts with just moving them around, you know, just like a house, architectural house style. You have the plans and you say, oh my gosh, that doesn't work out on that floor because this and the plumbing and all of that stuff. So it does have some kind of way to figure out the layout and how placement is so important with it. And also coloring, actually coloring. And I used gel pens for this. How vibrant the gel pens are and how vibrant they are. So if you could see, I could not color those snowflakes. It was just so difficult. So I had put circles here, get rid of the snowflakes to make it easier for someone to color the reindeer. So this is with, and then I said, I did the coloring myself and I couldn't do it. So I said, remove the snowflakes. And so I did. And so this is the final result. I removed the snowflakes, and what else? No border. So there's no border. I have to remove the border because it was showing. And basically, this is the final outcome of the coloring book for winter 2025. So many steps that an author or an illustrator or a cartoonist or a graphic designer has to make in so many different ways. I have to just remember to digitize all of this so I don't have to carry this folder with me when I go to my traveling trip. I also am going to download them on my iPad so I could color and use Procreate, because I know a lot of people also like to download coloring pages and use Procreate to color their coloring pages. And also there are a lot of other programs that you could use to color to color them, but I will offer them I'm going to place my Patreon link up there if you like freebies for my Patreon subscribers, and also subscribers for my membership plans for YouTube. You'll also get some free pages for free coloring once a month. So I'm really happy that you guys get to look at behind the scenes on how I develop my products and coloring book and just the daily life of an artist and art therapy through grieving and loss really helps me and focus on things that I can do to keep my mind busy and off the sadness and despair of missing someone. I really miss my dad a lot, and I hope this helps you heal and also begin the process of doing something that will take your mind off of the stress and of all of the pain and the processing of letting and releasing the emotions. And just I hope to be there for you when you want to just listen to my voice while you're doing something, coloring or sketching or reading, something that inspires you and makes you want to do something, like writing your book, creating your canvas, sculpting, whatever you can do to help ease your mind in any kind of stress, not just grief or loss. But look what my dad gave me. He gave me this before he passed away, and he said, "Marie, do you want these? I don't use them." And he had another bucket of markers, and I was like, "Dad, you're not going to use it? You're not really?" And he has blank canvases that I bought him when he was sick, and I was like, "Before you get sick, why don't you create, something amazing?" He was a great artist. He loved to paint. He even used rice. He cut up a lot of family pictures, and he put us on this canvas with rice as glue. And I thought it was the most amazing thing. My mom was also really creative. She made scrapbooks. I mean, when scrapbooks were before they were popular, I think I want to go back into scrapbooking. And yeah, I'm going to do it because my mom made the most amazing scrapbooks when my dad was stationed in Vietnam. And these are historic archives for our family. And when they're long gone, when your parents are long gone, or when I'm long gone, our relatives who sees them, it could be your great great grandchildren, and they can see your life, what you had. And I hope that when I'm long gone, that these videos will still remain, and that you guys can watch this and know that you are loved and cherished, and leave something behind, something creative, a message, something that will share with your loved ones and your family and your friends, and show that you have been, you've been inspired and you're inspiring. All right. All right, everyone. I'll see you on the next uploads. I won't be uploading tomorrow. Maybe I will, from travels. And I hope to share with you this week exactly what I'm doing. It's going to be an exciting week. Can't wait. I think a Harry Potter store is there. And I'll just give you a couple of hints. The biggest Starbucks in the world is there. And I can't wait to see it. And I can't wait to share with you how I transport all of these. I'm not going to transport these. Maybe I might. Nah. I'm just going to use Procreate to color. But see, digital is where it's at, because you could take everything. You could take digital anywhere with you, with your coloring book, with your coloring pages, with your crayons in Procreate, and color, color, color. And that's what I'm going to do on the plane. Color, 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 to get my mind off, take off, and landing. And then also do a couple of things while I'm waiting in the hotel, waiting for the 4 p.m. check-in. That's crazy. I don't know what. Anyways, y'all, I'll see you guys soon and stay tuned. Won't you subscribe and press the like button? It really helps your queen out here. And I love you all. Be safe. Have a very wonderful weekend. Please comment if you can and watch my other videos, especially the last one on lighting. Anyways, do what you want. All right, neighbors. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Bye-bye. Don't forget to subscribe and visit my website at www.drzhivago.us. Buy something, subscribe, be a member. It really helps this channel out. And I hope to see you guys soon. And oh my gosh, this new subscribers, thank you so much. I love you. Bye. Bye.